All right, what's going on, Dolphins fans? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Not a video that I really at all thought I'd make at any point this season, but it looks like we have confirmation, breaking news from Adam Schefter. SHAQ Barrett will be returning to football effective, quote unquote, immediately. By immediately, he means he has applied for reinstatement to the NFL, so obviously he's not going to be playing on Thanksgiving. But this does mean that at the soonest available time, SHAQ Barrett will be back on a football field. Now, the Miami Dolphins obviously have the rights to SHAQ Barrett as he signed with the team all the way back in the offseason and then in August decided to retire. It was a shock to this Dolphins team. It was something that really hampered this team coming into the season, maybe even forced Jalen Phillips to come back earlier than we wanted him to. Now Jalen Phillips out for the season. Chop Robinson has had a really good last month, 2.5 sacks in the last month. Manuel Ogba got a sack over the weekend, but the edge rushing group has certainly been left a little bit weak. The defensive line is playing probably better than we expected it to. But getting that news early on in the season, before the season even started, that SHAQ Barrett wasn't going to be on the team was pretty bad at the time. So now he is returning, but is he going to be returning to the team? So the Miami Dolphins do have the rights to his contract. He is on contract for this season. But when you're somebody in the position of SHAQ Barrett, when you're one, I don't want to say one of the greatest of all time, but certainly a great, especially for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when you're somebody who has the status that he does and you decide to retire, and if you come back, most of the time you see teams honoring players' wishes. If you're under contract, if they don't want to be on the team, like they trade away, which is no longer an option, or release them to go on to another team. I thought it was pretty interesting. Anthony Weaver said that when reporters asked him about it, it was the first that he had heard of the situation. So that does mean that SHAQ Barrett and the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, Anthony Weaver, have not been having conversation as to whether he'll be coming back to the team, that he learned this first from the reporters. It does lead you to wonder as to whether SHAQ Barrett will be playing for the Dolphins or whether he'll be playing for another team. The most obvious plug-in would be that he would want to go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are very much in contention in that NFC South race. So going back to where he spent almost all of his career up to this point, going back to a team that has a chance to win their division, make the playoffs, have a home playoff game, that would make a lot of sense. But then we also saw the report come out that, according to Barry Jackson, SHAQ Barrett would quote-unquote be fine with playing for the Miami Dolphins. So a little bit conflicting there as to whether he would go back to Tampa or stay down here in Miami. But if he is fine with playing for the Miami Dolphins, there is no chance the Dolphins will let him go, and we will see him on the field at some point this season for the Miami Dolphins. Now, when we signed SHAQ Barrett, I'm sure as much as you were, I was pretty excited about it, but I also knew what it was. He was going to be somebody that turning this year 32. In fact, he turned 32 about 10 days ago at this point. So he is a 32-year-old edge rusher. So yeah, obviously he's a little bit past his prime, and that did concern me a little bit, but I was just very much excited with the fact that we are getting, in his prime, one of the best edge rushers we've seen in the last 10 years, somebody who's more than capable at the edge position, got a Super Bowl, very impactful to get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers their lone Super Bowl in the last 20 years. So you knew you were getting a good player. But now that we look at this defense and we look at what has been wrong with this defense all season long, it has been a lot of the Miami Dolphins have brought in so many guys that are probably on their last stop, that are 29, 30, 31, 32 years of age, and just don't have the legs anymore. You look at Jordan Poyer, he is the clearest example of this, where he is so clearly not the guy he was on the Buffalo Bills 2, 3, 4 years ago now, and the Miami Dolphins are forced to start him out of necessity, as there hasn't been anybody that is better that could take that spot. Patrick Morris, 6th-round pick, has been on IR all season, so he might be coming back here soon. But even behind Jordan Poyer, you have Marcus May, who same exact situation. Anthony Walker Jr., linebacker. Like, you have guys that are not first choice anymore, that are certainly probably not even second choice anymore. Older guys on the defense side of the ball. Kendall Fuller, another name that this defense just has scattered around. The only one that has really worked has been Calais Campbell. And we saw the reports come out just before the game on Sunday talking about how Mike McDaniel basically threw a temper tantrum trying to keep Calais Campbell on the team because of how effective he has been on the defensive line, how much of a presence he has has been there at the defensive line. So while I am happy to get another guy at the edge rushing position, because outside of Manuel Ogba, outside of Chop Robinson in the last few weeks, there's been absolutely nothing that we've been getting on the outside in this group. So it is another option. It is experience. It is somebody that should be able to have a little bit juice left in the tank. 4 sacks last year, not quite, like we're talking about with Jordan Poyer, who's just completely fallen off of a cliff. Hopefully there is still something left there with SHAQ Barrett. But I'm not sold that this is really going to be a piece that pushes the Miami Dolphins further down the line. In fact, if it comes at the detriment of taking snaps away from Chop Robinson, it might actually be a detriment to the team. I'd rather see him take snaps away from Emmanuel Ogbah, somebody who also is older in age, and who knows if he'll ever have a stop in the NFL after this team. But Chop Robinson, his development, how he's learning the game, how he's learning to find multiple moves to get to the quarterback, which is something that he did not do in college. I really like the development we've seen from him in this last month. I hope SHAQ Barrett does not come in and take snaps away from Chop Robinson. That would be the absolute wrong decision for this team to do. It's good to get the help, but playing in the right position, playing him at the right times, and you just got to see him in general if he rejoins the team. Let me know your thoughts about this. Really weird news to come out on a Tuesday morning. SHAQ Barrett will be coming back to the NFL. Whether it's on the Dolphins, we still have to wait to see what type of role he has. We'll still have to wait to see whether he's good. We'll still have to wait to see. Let me know your thoughts about this down below in the comments. While down there, to go check out Green Gridiron. Go get yourself one of these beautiful replica helmets. Hit that like button down there. Hit that sub button down there. Appreciate y'all very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.